Hello everyone and welcome to the Pixie Dust Designs YouTube channel. This is Dawn Pauley from Dawn Pauley Designs and I'm so glad you could join me. I'm very excited to be a guest designer for Pixie Dust Designs. I get to work with their Tulip die set today. I love this die set because it's actually gets put together in layers and it looks 3D when it's done, which is pretty cool. You get a full bloom tulip and a bud and a bunch of different size leaves. So let's get started so I can show you how this amazing set gets put together. The first thing I did was go ahead and die cut all of the tulips and the leaves from white cardstock because I'm going to do some ink blending with them. Now you can start with a colored cardstock if you really want to, but I wanted to add my own coloring and do some shading, and that's why I started with the white cardstock. Once all of my pieces are cut out, I'm just going to ink blend all the leaves with some Distress Oxide ink. And today I'm using the Rustic Wilderness color. I like the shade of green to make leaves with it because it just really, the tones go really nice. Now for the ink blending, I'm focusing more on the edges of the leaves and not the middle of them. I'm putting very little color in the middle of the leaves because I want to just highlight the outer edge of them. And then for the tulips, I'm just going to do the same exact thing. I'm using the Distress Oxide ink, Salvage Patina, and I'm focusing mostly on the outer edge of the tulip. I'm trying to make the edges a dark color and the middle of the flower very light. You can put as much or as little color as you like, actually. The color will lighten up a little bit after it dries, so don't be afraid to actually add a lot of the color to the edges. Once all of my tulips are colored in, I'm going to spray them with some Imagine Share Shimmer Spray. This is going to add some shiny glitter to the tulips and it'll look really nice when it dries. And once I spray them, I am just going to set them aside to dry while I do some other stuff. You could also dry them with your heat tool if you wanted to. I'm going to make a black border for around my card. I went ahead and die cut some of the words out of the cardstock. I like to do this to help save on paper, and no one will ever know you did this because it'll be hidden underneath the card. I cut a piece of white cardstock to 4 by 5 1/4, and this is what I'm going to adhere my tulips to. I'm assembling the tulip. It's very easy to do. There are 5 pieces to it, and you're going to start with the biggest layer and then line up the biggest of the smaller petals on the left side, and then put the one that kind of looks like a V over those 2 petals. And then you have 2 smaller petals left. Take the smallest one and put it on the right hand side, and then you're going to take the last petal and put it over on the left hand side of the flower, and that's going to complete the full size tulip. Look at how nice that looks. You can see it has the 3D effect to it, and I'll show you how to put it together again in a minute. But let's do the smaller tulip. You're going to take the one that has the little cut out in the middle of it, and then you're going to place it over the solid petal. And then to finish it off, you'll take the last piece and place it in the middle of the flower. And then that's going to complete the bud flower. Now let's do the bigger tulip one more time. Start with the biggest layer, and then you're going to line up the biggest of the smaller petals on the left side. And then you're going to put the one that kind of looks like a V over those 2 petals like this. And then you have 2 petals left. You're going to take the smaller one and you're going to put it on the right hand side over here. And then you're going to take the last petal and you're going to put it over on the left hand side of the flower. And that's going to complete the full size tulip again. Now I'm going to add a little bit of color onto my white background. I didn't want it to be just plain white, so I'm putting some Distress Oxide Tumble Glass. As you can see, I'm brushing most of the color onto a scrap piece of paper because I want it to be a very soft background. And you can also use an embossing folder on it or anything you like to give the background a little texture, just so it's not plain white. Then I'm going to take the card front and I'm going to adhere it to my black border. Here I'm going to quickly assemble the leaves, and I did want to show you that there is a diagram on the back of the packaging that shows you exactly how to assemble the tulips and the leaves. It makes it very fast and easy to assemble them. I probably should have showed you this while I was assembling the tulips, but I forgot to do that. You just take the two pieces that it shows and you follow the diagram, and it's that easy to assemble the leaves. Let me show you the other leaves. You take the two pieces it shows in the diagram and you just lay them on top of each other. It really is that easy to do because the pictures are shaded to show you which pieces go on top and which pieces go on the bottom. Okay, now let's assemble the card. The first thing I do is lay all of my pieces out onto my card front where I want them to go. It does take a little bit to get them exactly where you want if you're using a lot of the pieces like I am. I wanted my whole card to have a big bouquet on it, and I just move all the pieces around until I have the look that I want. Now I'm going to glue everything down onto the front of my card. For me, I just take the tulips off and I leave the leaves basically where they are, and then I'm just going to glue them in place. They will move around a little bit, but just try and be careful. If you have a phone, you can also take a picture of the image so you know exactly where everything should go in case you do move the pieces around by mistake. Another option I do sometimes is I take some Glad press and seal and I place it over the whole image so all of the pieces attach to the press and seal. Then you put glue on all of the pieces at one time, and then you place it back on the card front and press all the pieces down in place at one time. It all depends what kind of mood I'm in. Today I felt like just gluing each piece in place. And once all of my stems and leaves are adhered down, I just adhere the tulips on top of the leaves, and then I'm going to adhere the sentiment "Much Love" in the bottom left hand corner. Then I like to add some sparkle to my cards, and I'm using some clear dewdrops, and I just randomly am putting them onto the card, and I put some on the petals of the flowers, and I adhere them in place with my liquid glue. I think gems just really dress up a card, and I just love how they look on them. And then to finish off the card, I adhere the entire card front to an A2 size card base, and look at how elegant this card came out. I think that it's beautiful, and I love the three-dimensional flowers on it. They just really make this card stand out. I want to thank you for joining me on the Pixie Dust Designs YouTube channel. I would love for you to leave a comment below and let me know what you think of the card. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe to the Pixie Dust Designs YouTube channel and their other social media platform so you don't miss out on any other great inspirational videos. Also, check out their website for all new releases that they might have. And as always, I want to thank you for spending your time with me, and I hope you have a wonderful day.